One of the most important lessons I've learned is that the past does not define who you are today. Too many people get stuck on their mistakes, carrying them like a weight that prevents them from moving forward. But the past is only valuable for the lessons it gives us. Holding on to regrets and disappointments is like trying to run a race with weights tied to your legs. If you truly want to reprogram your mind for success, you have to learn to let go of what doesn't serve you anymore. When I started Alibaba, I was just a former teacher with a big idea and a lot of skepticism from people around me. It was easy to let my past failures define me, but I chose not to. In the beginning, there were times when it seemed impossible, when I felt I might have made a mistake. But I reminded myself that the future is always more important than the past. What I learned was to take those early failures as building blocks, not as reasons to quit. Your past is just that, a lesson, not a limitation. Rebuilding yourself every day is a powerful choice. We often think that we have to stick with one identity or path, but that's not true. Every day you have the chance to become a better version of yourself. Don't carry past mistakes like baggage. Instead, use them as stepping stones. Each day is a new beginning, and the ability to adapt and grow is what brings you closer to success. When you break free from the past, you create space for future possibilities. Mistakes are a part of life. They are a source of strength and resilience. If I had let every misstep define me, I would have missed out on the great opportunities that came later. Rebuilding yourself means transforming the challenges you faced into wisdom and courage for the future. It's about seeing yourself as a work in progress, someone who is always growing and improving. This mindset has helped me time and time again in my journey. So let go of yesterday's failures and focus on today's growth. Every setback is a foundation for something greater. Moving forward with an open mind and a willingness to learn is what sets you up for a successful future. Your past doesn't define you. What you choose to do with it does. Youth is the perfect time to take risks, explore, and make mistakes. I always encourage young people to step out of their comfort zones and not be afraid to fail. The truth is, failures are just steps in the journey. Every time you stumble, you learn something new about yourself and the world around you. It's during these early years that you have the freedom to explore, to fall, and to rise stronger each time. Embrace your mistakes because they are priceless teachers. In my own journey before Alibaba, I faced countless rejections and setbacks. I wasn't born into business or taught how to lead a company. I learned by trying, failing, and trying again. Every failure brought me closer to understanding what works and what doesn't. In those days, every no was a lesson. Each obstacle was a chance to build resilience. If I had been afraid to make mistakes, I would never have created the opportunities that eventually led to success. One of the greatest advantages of youth is that the cost of mistakes is low, but the potential for learning is high. Fear of failure stops many people from even trying. But failure is just part of the process, not the end of the story. When you take risks, you gain experience, and experience is the foundation of growth. This is what I tell young people. Don't fear failure. See it as your greatest ally in building a resilient mind and character. Failure teaches you more than success ever could. When you fall and get back up, you become more prepared, more adaptable. Instead of seeing setbacks as defeats, see them as part of the learning curve. Youth is the time to collect these lessons, to become stronger, and to gain the experience that will guide you through your life. Every stumble, every wrong turn is a step toward a better understanding of yourself and your goals. So don't let the fear of failure keep you from moving forward. Each failure is an opportunity to reset, to recalibrate, and to grow. You only truly fail when you decide to stop trying. Let failure be your teacher and your motivator, and you'll find strength you didn't know you had. I've always seen life as a marathon, not a 100-meter sprint. So many people, especially young ones, are eager to succeed right away. But the journey to real success isn't fast or easy. It's a long process of growth. When you're constantly chasing quick results, you miss out on the beauty of the journey itself. Success isn't about reaching the finish line quickly. It's about staying the course and growing stronger with each step you take. In the early days of Alibaba, I didn't expect overnight success. I knew we were in it for the long haul, and that mindset made all the difference. Building something valuable takes time, persistence, and patience. It's the small, consistent steps that create a lasting impact. Each challenge, each step forward helped us grow and improve. We didn't rush. We embraced the process and allowed our vision to develop naturally. Growth takes time and commitment. If you focus only on the end result, you'll miss the important lessons along the way. Each stage of the journey has something to teach you, something that prepares you for the next level. I always remind people that a tree doesn't grow in a day. The roots have to take hold deep in the ground before the tree can grow tall. It's the same with success. Every struggle builds the foundation for future growth. True growth comes from embracing the journey and understanding that setbacks are part of it. Every difficulty you face is a stepping stone that brings you closer to your goals. It's easy to feel frustrated when things don't go as planned, but that's when the real growth happens. In a marathon, every mile counts, and it's the same in life. The process of growth is what makes you resilient and prepared for bigger challenges ahead. So enjoy the path you're on and don't rush the outcome. Each day, each experience adds to who you are becoming. Success isn't just about where you end up, it's about who you become along the way. Life is a marathon, and the journey itself is as rewarding as the destination. Embrace it, and you'll find the growth you seek. Money is a tool, but for many, it's also a source of fear and limitation. I've seen people with incredible ideas stop themselves because they're too focused on what they don't have. Fear of financial failure can be one of the biggest barriers to success. But let me tell you something I learned early on. If you're always waiting until you have enough to start, you'll never begin. Money follows purpose. It doesn't define it. When we launched Alibaba, we had very limited resources. I wasn't worried about being poor or having less. I was focused on our goal. Poverty is only a state of mind when you have a dream, because dreams give you purpose and energy. I've met many talented people who are so scared of financial risk that they never took a single step toward their goals. If you let money fears guide your actions, you'll always feel limited, no matter how much you have. One of the best ways to overcome money-related fears is to learn financial discipline and have a clear vision. With a disciplined approach, you can manage what you have without becoming overly dependent on it. Create a budget, make calculated risks, and prioritize investments in knowledge, growth, and the tools that genuinely matter. Learning to manage your resources is a powerful skill that provides both confidence and flexibility. It's also essential to remember that wealth is a journey, not a destination. The goal isn't to make a lot of money, but to create value. Money will come if your focus is on providing solutions and contributing meaningfully to society. This approach allows you to look at money differently, as a byproduct of purpose rather than as a barrier to it. Reframe your mindset. See money as an ally, not an obstacle. If money worries hold you back, understand that they're just one part of a larger picture. As you build your dreams, the fears will fade, replaced by the courage that comes from experience and a deep belief in your purpose. Let money be a tool, not a roadblock, and watch how much easier it becomes to pursue what truly matters. A winning mindset isn't about being smarter, faster, or better than everyone else. It's about resilience, adaptability, and the ability to learn from every experience. Success isn't about winning every battle, but about winning the war within. I've always believed that if you want to catch the rabbit, you shouldn't try to change the rabbit. You should change yourself. That is the essence of a winning mindset, the willingness to adjust, improve, and never give up. When you encounter obstacles, it's easy to think, this is too hard, or maybe I'm not cut out for this. But those who succeed don't let setbacks define them. Instead, they find ways to use setbacks as stepping stones. A winning mindset is one that sees failure as feedback, not defeat. This mindset helped us build Alibaba into a global powerhouse because every challenge became an opportunity to innovate and grow. It's also important to focus on what you can control. Many waste time worrying about external factors, but a winning mindset channels energy toward personal growth. Instead of blaming circumstances, work on improving your skills, your knowledge, and your mental resilience. This approach keeps you on the offensive, always moving forward. Creating a winning mindset also requires self-awareness. Understand your strengths and weaknesses and use them to your advantage. Successful people are those who know themselves well and leverage that understanding to make better decisions. Self-awareness, combined with discipline, can turn ordinary moments into extraordinary outcomes. Finally, remember that winning doesn't always mean big wins. Small victories add up over time, and contribute to the larger success story. Cultivate patience, resilience, and a strong focus on personal growth, and you'll be ready to face any challenge with the mindset of a true winner. Goals without clarity are like ships without a compass. They drift without direction. In my journey, I found that having a clear, measurable target is essential to make progress. If you're vague about your goals, you'll waste time and energy. Defining goals that are specific and achievable sets you on a direct path to success, providing the focus needed to overcome distractions. When setting goals, break them into smaller, manageable steps. Each milestone is an opportunity for progress, and each success builds confidence. At Alibaba, we didn't aim to be the world's largest e-commerce platform from day one. We focused on achievable incremental goals, each leading us closer to the next stage. Clear goals keep you grounded and give you purpose. Measure your progress regularly. Goals that aren't monitored are easily forgotten. By tracking your progress, you'll stay motivated and able to make adjustments where necessary. It's a way of ensuring you're always on course, and even if there are setbacks, you can recalibrate with clarity. It's also crucial to set goals that align with your values and aspirations. Goals should drive you, not drain you. They should inspire a sense of purpose, excitement, and passion. If a goal feels like a chore, perhaps it needs rethinking. Every step of the journey should bring you closer to something meaningful. Lastly, remember that goals aren't set in stone. As you grow, so can your objectives. Allow yourself the flexibility to adjust them, but always keep your eyes on the destination. Setting clear and measurable goals is about staying focused on what truly matters, giving you the momentum to keep moving forward. Passion is the fuel that powers every successful journey. When you're passionate about something, work doesn't feel like work. It becomes an expression of your purpose, a pursuit of what makes you feel alive. I often tell people that if you want to be successful, find something you're passionate about, because it's this inner drive that will carry you through challenges. When I started Alibaba, I wasn't driven by money. I was driven by a desire to solve a problem. This passion helped me stay committed, even when things got tough. Every time we faced a setback, it was the passion for our mission that kept us going. Passion isn't just about enthusiasm, it's about resilience. When you care deeply about what you're doing, obstacles don't discourage you. They motivate you to push harder. True passion is infectious. When you're passionate, people feel it and want to be a part of it. At Alibaba, our team was built on shared passion, and that unity made us unstoppable. It's easier to inspire others to believe in your vision if they can see how much it means to you. Passion creates a culture of commitment, and with it, you can build something truly impactful. Another key aspect of passion is that it helps you endure the grind. Every dream requires hard work, and without passion, it's easy to give up when things get tough. But with passion, every effort feels like a step towards something meaningful. It's like a marathon, where each mile is driven by an internal fire. So find what excites you and dive into it. When your work aligns with your passion, it becomes not only a path to success, but also a source of joy and fulfillment. Passion is not just the driving force, it's the reason to keep going no matter what. Balancing work and life is one of the hardest things to achieve, especially for entrepreneurs. In the early days of Alibaba, I spent countless hours building the company, often sacrificing personal time. It's easy to lose yourself in the pursuit of success, but I learned the hard way that balance is essential. Without it, success can feel empty, even meaningless. To maintain balance, you must prioritize. Work hard, yes, but remember that time with loved ones, personal health, and mental well-being are just as important. Achievements lose value if they come at the cost of relationships or happiness. Success shouldn't be about what you gain alone, it's also about what you preserve. I believe that balance requires setting boundaries. It's not about working less, but about working smartly and giving your best to each area of your life. Effective time management allows you to be productive without being consumed by work. This approach not only helps maintain health, but also brings clarity and a sense of purpose. Quality time spent on personal interests and hobbies is equally important. This is where you recharge, where creativity flows, and where new perspectives emerge. Life outside of work can bring surprising insights and inspiration that improve your work itself. Balance, then, is not a burden, but a strategic advantage. In the end, life isn't only about reaching the top, but also about enjoying the journey. Balance makes the journey meaningful and sustainable, allowing you to succeed in a way that feels fulfilling. Achieving balance means you're not just building a career, you're building a life worth living. Gratitude is one of the most powerful forces you can cultivate. In my journey, I've found that being grateful for every step, every lesson, every experience brings a sense of peace and fulfillment that success alone cannot offer. When you're thankful, you appreciate not just what you've gained, but also the process, the struggles, and the growth that brought you here. Practicing gratitude changes your perspective. Instead of focusing on what you don't have, you start seeing the abundance in what's around you. I remember our early days at Alibaba when resources were tight, but I remained thankful for our team's dedication and for every small victory. Gratitude creates resilience and helps you face challenges with a positive mindset. Gratitude also strengthens relationships. Acknowledging the contributions of others fosters loyalty, teamwork, and a spirit of mutual respect. I always made it a point to thank my team, as each person's work played a part in our journey. When you're grateful, you build connections based on respect, not merely on hierarchy. Success without gratitude can feel empty because it's gratitude that grounds you and reminds you of where you started. It helps you stay humble, appreciative, and focused on continuous growth. Being grateful isn't a weakness. It's a strength that enables you to remain balanced and connected to what truly matters. So, if there's one practice to incorporate into your life, let it be gratitude. It will bring you peace, foster better relationships, and make every step on your journey feel worthwhile. Success with gratitude is a success you can genuinely enjoy. Success and failure often come down to one key factor: persistence. I've learned that if you want to achieve anything meaningful, you have to commit to never giving up, no matter how many times you fall. Failure isn't final unless you decide to walk away. In fact, some of my best ideas and biggest breakthroughs came after moments of difficulty and frustration. Perseverance is not about having an easy journey. It's about moving forward even when things get tough. Every entrepreneur faces moments of doubt where the obstacles feel overwhelming and giving up seems like an easier option. But in my experience, the real magic happens after those moments of doubt. It's when you push through the hardships that you discover what you're truly capable of. I often think back to Alibaba's early years when we struggled financially and faced countless rejections. Many advised us to quit, but I believed that as long as we kept going, failure was just a temporary setback. The truth is, those who keep pushing forward, who refuse to let setbacks define them, are the ones who ultimately succeed. It doesn't mean ignoring reality or pretending that obstacles don't exist. It means finding solutions, adapting, and moving forward regardless. In every difficulty, there's a lesson to be learned, and every lesson brings you one step closer to your goal. Quitting might bring short-term relief, but in the long run, it only guarantees regret. Success isn't about avoiding challenges, it's about facing them head-on and coming out stronger. Each setback, each failure is an opportunity to build resilience and refine your skills. When you stick to your vision and refuse to give up, you're constantly learning, growing, and positioning yourself for success. If there's one lesson I hope to pass on, it's this: nothing is truly over until you decide it is. Persistence is the foundation of any lasting success. By refusing to quit, you turn every failure into a stepping stone toward your goal. Stay focused, stay resilient, and remember that true failure only happens when you stop trying. In today's world, the only constant is change. I've seen this truth unfold countless times, both in my own journey and in the rapidly evolving world around us. If you want to thrive, you must be willing to adapt, to embrace change rather than resist it. I often say that success is not about how strong or smart you are. It's about how adaptable you can be. Flexibility is the key that unlocks new opportunities. When Alibaba was first starting, the internet in China was still a new concept. Many people doubted that online commerce would ever succeed there. We could have clung to traditional ideas, but instead, we adapted and embraced this change. We recognized that the future was digital, and we committed to leading that charge. Change often feels risky, but without it, you'll be left behind. Every innovation, every breakthrough comes from someone willing to do things differently. Adaptability doesn't mean abandoning your goals. It means finding new ways to achieve them. The world is full of surprises, and unexpected challenges will always arise, but those who can pivot, who can find new strategies without losing sight of their vision, are the ones who succeed. Flexibility allows you to keep moving forward, no matter what obstacles you encounter. The ability to adapt is a skill that requires practice. It means keeping an open mind, staying curious, and being willing to unlearn old ways of doing things. It's not always easy, but it's essential. The world changes too quickly to rely on outdated strategies. Adaptation allows you to stay relevant, to keep pace with progress, and to find new paths to success. So embrace change. See it as an ally, not an enemy. When you remain adaptable, you're not just surviving, you're thriving. Every change is an opportunity for growth, and every new challenge is a chance to prove that you can evolve and rise to the occasion. Efficiency is a fundamental principle of sustainable success. In my experience, it's not enough to simply work hard. You have to work smart. Many people assume that spending long hours automatically translates to productivity, but this couldn't be further from the truth. True productivity comes from finding ways to maximize your impact with minimal waste of time and resources. I believe that efficiency is about achieving more by focusing on what truly matters. At Alibaba, we constantly sought ways to streamline processes, cut down unnecessary steps, and use our time wisely. This mindset allowed us to grow rapidly without burning out or losing sight of our mission. Efficiency isn't about cutting corners. It's about being strategic, ensuring every action contributes to your goals. When you focus on efficiency, you free up time and energy to innovate, adapt, and reach new heights. One key to efficiency is setting clear priorities. Without priorities, you can end up spending your time on tasks that don't really move you closer to your vision. By focusing on the most impactful actions, you maximize results and minimize stress. Efficiency requires discipline and a willingness to let go of activities that don't serve your ultimate purpose. It's about learning to say no so that you can say yes to what really matters. Efficiency also means building a strong team that can work independently. At Alibaba, I encourage my team to take ownership of their roles, empowering them to make decisions and drive their own productivity. By trusting your team, you create a culture where everyone contributes efficiently, rather than relying on one person to make every decision. This approach doesn't just save time, it creates a sense of purpose and responsibility within the entire organization. In the end, efficiency is not just a work strategy, it's a life philosophy. When you focus on doing more with less, you open up space for creativity, growth, and personal fulfillment. Success isn't about doing everything, it's about doing the right things. Cultivating efficiency is about valuing your time and using it to create lasting impact.
When Jack Ma took the stage, the energy in the room was palpable. The founder of Alibaba, a man whose journey from an English teacher to the creator of one of the largest e-commerce empires in the world, was about to share his wisdom with young people hungry for guidance. Jack Ma's words held a unique weight. His story wasn't one of overnight success. It was one of resilience, patience, and an unshakable belief in growth through failure. Throughout his speech, Jack Ma offered profound insights, emphasizing the power of reprogramming one's mind to overcome life's obstacles and unlock true potential. One of the first points Jack Ma drove home was the importance of not being defined by the past. "The past is only as heavy as you make it," he said, encouraging the audience to see past setbacks as learning experiences rather than permanent labels. According to Jack Ma, clinging to past failures is like running a race while carrying a heavy weight. It slows you down, robs you of momentum, and keeps you from focusing on the future. For Jack Ma, the past is simply a series of chapters, each offering lessons, but none that determine one's final destination. Jack Ma's message was clear. Rebuilding oneself is essential to success. No matter what mistakes you've made, you can choose to start fresh each day. He highlighted the importance of using failures as stepping stones, explaining that he too had faced rejection and doubt from all sides. The people who succeed, Jack Ma believes, are those who leave the past behind and continuously reinvent themselves. To him, the ability to rebuild and adapt is one of the most powerful skills a person can cultivate. As Jack Ma moved to his next point, His words struck a chord with the young audience. "Don't be afraid to make mistakes," he declared passionately. He sees youth as a time to take risks, to fall down, and to get back up stronger each time. Jack Ma's belief in the value of failure is central to his philosophy. He views mistakes as opportunities to gain wisdom. For him, every failure carries a lesson, a vital ingredient in the recipe for personal growth. His conviction inspires a shift in perspective, framing failure as a friend rather than a foe. In his own life, Jack Ma faced countless rejections, each one pushing him to try harder. He recalled his early days applying for jobs, turned down repeatedly, including a position at KFC. Yet, rather than let these rejections define him, he used each one as a learning experience. This mindset of resilience, of turning failures into fuel, is one he urges young people to adopt. Youth, he believes, is the perfect time to take bold steps and accumulate valuable lessons that will serve as a foundation for future success. Another key element of Jack Ma's speech was the importance of embracing the process of growth. Life is not a 100-meter dash. It's a marathon, he told his audience, reminding them that real success requires patience and persistence. Young people, Jack Ma observed, often crave instant results, yet lasting success is a long journey, filled with twists, turns, and gradual progress. His metaphor of life as a marathon emphasizes that each step, no matter how small, builds upon the last. Jack Ma has often stressed that focusing solely on the outcome can lead to disappointment, while valuing the journey leads to fulfillment. Each experience, each challenge along the way, teaches resilience and adds to one's growth. He encouraged his audience to enjoy the process and to find purpose in every stage, rather than rushing to the end. In Jack Ma's view, success is not a final destination, but an ongoing journey of self-improvement and dedication to one's vision. Jack Ma's philosophy on life and growth resonated powerfully with the young people in attendance. By sharing his journey, he made it clear that success is less about the goal and more about the commitment to self-discovery. As he recounted his story, the audience saw not just a billionaire, but a man who valued growth above all. The path to success is built slowly, over time, with each moment of patience and persistence leading to the next. Another point Jack Ma touched on was the importance of understanding the nature of setbacks. Setbacks, he explained, are not signs of failure, but natural parts of the process. He believes that each hurdle is an opportunity to grow stronger and wiser. Life's challenges build resilience, and it is through overcoming these obstacles that one gains the ability to face greater challenges. Jack Ma's journey illustrates that true strength is developed over time, through repeated efforts and a willingness to endure. The value Jack Ma places on patience is evident in his view of success as a gradual unfolding. While many young people today feel pressure to achieve immediate results, Jack Ma encouraged them to focus on steady progress. Success is a journey, not a destination, he reminded them, urging them to savor the process. In his eyes, the commitment to continuous improvement is what truly sets people apart. Jack Ma concluded his talk by reinforcing the idea that growth is a daily process, one that never truly ends. For him, each day is an opportunity to learn, to grow, and to become better. He encouraged his audience to keep their eyes on the bigger picture, to remain persistent even when progress seems slow, and to trust that every effort contributes to the final outcome. By the end of his talk, Jack Ma had shared a vision of success that was rooted not in external achievements, but in an internal journey of growth, resilience, and self-discovery. His message to young people was one of empowerment, to reprogram their minds, embrace failure, and value the journey of growth. Jack Ma's words left a lasting impact, reminding his audience that with patience, courage, and a relentless commitment to self-improvement, they too can create extraordinary lives. Now that you've heard Jack Ma's insights, are you ready to apply them? Think about how each piece of advice can transform your journey. Are you willing to let go of the past, embrace failure as a teacher, and commit to the long, steady process of growth? Imagine what could change if you start seeing setbacks as stepping stones and approach each day with a mindset that today is a fresh chance to become a better version of yourself. So, what's the first step you'll take? Maybe it's redefining a past mistake as a lesson, or taking that risk you've been hesitant to pursue. As you start this journey, remember Jack Ma's powerful words on resilience and patience. Share in the comments the point that resonated most with you. Let's discuss the ways we can all apply these principles in our lives. And remember to subscribe to the channel and activate notifications to keep learning from inspiring leaders like Jack Ma. When you need motivation or a reminder of what's possible, come back to this video. Ready to keep growing? Watch Improve Yourself 1% every day. Unlock massive growth. Jack Ma's best strategies. Next for more strategies to reprogram your mind and reach your full potential.